amigos de Puerto Rico Wine News, nos encontramos nuevamente en el pabellón del Orrio de Suárez, estamos en el Hotel San Juan y hoy me acompaña una de las bodegas más importantes del Piemonte, una de las bodegas más queridas en Puerto Rico para todos los amantes de los vinos italianos, me refiero a Pio Cesare, y me acompaña David Tomatis.
Yes, correct.
Good to see you,
Hi,
David.
nice
Thank
to
you,
meet
thank
you.
you for
Hi.
the opportunity. And obviously, before we get into the winery itself, tell us about you. How did you get involved with wine?
Wine, it's I wouldn't call it business because it's a passion before that. And I'm actually in the wine business since I was 14, you know.
14 years old?
Yes, instead of having breakfast as a normal kid, you know, like a croissant, I was having an egg, you know, with a drop of Barolo, so Barolo is in my blood.
Barolo is in your blood. And it has done wonders for you because you stay young, athletic, so
I try to do the best.
I don't have that luck.
That is
the wine has not done that for me. And tell us about Pio Cesare. Tell us about the winery.
You know, Spanish and Italian, I am not able to speak Spanish, but I understand.
Okay.
And I thank you very much for the word, as you said. Pio Cesare, it's a winery that was established in 1881.
1881.
So we are talking about, you know, a winery that has more than 132 years old, and that is very important because it gives you the opportunity to have a background. Now we are up to the 4th generation. And we, of course, already looking into the future.
And when these wineries have been around for so long, they have been able to become masters of their craft, right?
Yeah.
They have learned from mistakes in the past.
Of course.
And now they're able to tell right from wrong. And now they also have a bond, a trust with their clients, with their consumers. I've been a big fan of Pio Cesare for a while now. I remember I had an epiphany. I had a great wine experience with a 97 Barolo.
Yeah.
And
one of the greatest vintages.
One of the greatest vintages, and that wine really emphasized something that I hold very close to my heart to these days, is that Barolo and Piemontese wines are such incredible wines to pair with food.
Yeah, that's correct. That's the most important thing. Mainly Barolo,
yeah.
It's a wine that to be appreciated, you need to have, you know, something to eat with you.
Those out there are dying for us to taste the wines and tell them all about it. You have brought 2 Barolos in order for us to compare, right?
Correct. Today we have decided to bring the classic Barolo and a new version of Barolo, which is the Ornato, which is a Barolo that came later. Basically.
Okay, we're going to start with the
classic Barolo.
Classic Barolo.
I call it classic because we call it classic actually because it has this actually classic label, which is a label that we have until the very beginning. In the winery, we have a bottle which is dated 1916, and it has already this label.
Oh, really?
And
so
bear in your mind that we have this little logo here, which is a permission that is done by the village of Alba, because we are the only winery in the center of the town, like 200 meters from the cathedral. Every 7 years, they give us a permission, and they allow us to use the seal. Or the because we are, as I said, the only winery in the center.
So in a way, you guys are ambassadors of Alba to the world.
Yeah,
right?
let's put it this way. Thank you.
Let's put it that way.
And
so let's get into the wine. I love the rose petal component in the Barolo.
Yeah, and I must say that this is a classic style of Barolo, and you can really get the traditional nose of Barolo because it's a blend of Nebbiolos coming from 4 different crus, where we have decided not to make a single vineyard, but from those 4 crus to make our classic Barolo. So here you have grapes, Nebbiolo grapes, coming from Serra Lunga, Grinzane Cavour, Novello, and La Morra. So basically you have 4 different estates, and as you probably well know, the area from one side, let's say, of the Barolo is more on the nose, and the other side is more on the full body.
I get some delicious herbs, and I get some delicious bright cherry here, rose petal, and in the nose, it just screams food. Give me food. I need food.
Yeah, this wine, of course. Then it's 2008 as a vintage, which was a vintage that is already quite ready. Let's say that the tannin is softer rather than what used to be with 2007, for example, you know?
There's this very delicious bitter chocolate component to it.
It's a complex wine. It's a wine that is very, let's say that you can when you get in love, it's very difficult to leave it, you know?
Yeah.
And because it's this kind of wine, you know, at the first approach, it's not an easy wine. You might get, you know, you need to get into the world of Barolo, but then it's gonna be, you know.
For those friends of ours out there who want to know what to pair Barolo with, what would you suggest if they go to El Orrio and they buy that bottle and they want to open it with friends on a Friday night? What should they cook?
The first thing is meat. I would suggest meat. First of all, as a first impact, you know, you have a fantastic meat as a Puerto Rican food as well.
Yeah.
I have tasted.
You've been Puerto Rico a while. Many times,
this is my second time.
Oh, second time here. Okay.
And I'm starting to getting to know all the food, and mainly I would go with meat as long as you have some sausage and meat with is working perfectly.
Yeah, obviously in Italian cuisine you eat a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And the Barolos have this incredible natural acidity to them.
That's correct.
That pairs beautifully with tomato-based dishes.
Yeah.
So let's get into the second wine, the Pio Cesare Barolo Ornato 2008.
This is a different concept.
A different monster.
You think he's gonna be happy with what we are saying?
Well, Wino likes wines that he doesn't have to pay for.
Okay.
As long as he doesn't have to pay,
then he's happy. Okay.
Yeah, he'll drink whatever. He's a bad payer. Don't look at him too much; he'll bite you.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I won't touch him any longer.
Let's talk about this Ornato, David.
So as you might see while you, it's a totally different. You know.
Yes.
Why it's totally different? Because despite to this one, it is a blend of Nebbiolos.
Is this a little bit more explosive, more modern than the first one?
Let's call it, let's use this word modern, even if it's not really appropriate, because nowadays in the area there is not more difference about modern and traditionalist, you know, it's more about every winery has his own style.
Could it be that it is bigger in the nose?
Yeah,
and the
definitely,
aromatics?
because this is Ornato, which is a single vineyard
single
from
vineyard.
Serra Lunga.
Okay.
And the Serra Lunga is basically the village where the soil has the most higher composition of clay, along with marne. So this high level of clay gives a lot of aging potential to the wine, a lot of structure.
This is so delicious in the nose. I get herbs, I get spices, I get the cherries, and I get something that it's very hard to qualify or to put in words. And it's like a raisin in liquor. It's like
which is the correct word. You know, when we say liquor or tobacco, there are something that are coming from the aging of a Barolo, and it's something very typical.
And there is this component that I also get in Burgundy, in red Burgundy, which is a little bit of soil, dirt, of the terroir. You said something that I fully agree, because Nebbiolo and Pinot Noir are two very similar grape variety. Mainly with the aging, it's very difficult to sometimes. Yes, I tend to compare, and obviously they have their own virtues in their own right, but I tend to compare when you have a nice, elegant, mature red Burgundy to a nice, mature old Barolo.
Yeah,
they can achieve that elegance, that natural acidity.
Because they are wines that are not blended, you know. I tend to say that it's not proper correct word, but they are wines that are not built, you know. It's only one single variety, and you have the top and the best from that variety.
This is incredibly powerful and big, and yet so elegant. Because Barolos, and obviously Pio Cesare, is a master of the game, can achieve that big concentration, bold flavors, tons of tobacco, spices, cherries, dirt, but you don't feel a whack of fruit. You don't feel like you've just been hit with a bang. Right?
Correct. And
it's
even the tannin, I must say this is very very delicate because it was the vintage, but the way of making a Barolo has slightly changed in the years because the climate has changed, the clone has changed. So the approach of Barolo is that it's a wine that if you go today and in a shop and you buy and you drink a bottle of Barolo tonight, it's fine, even if it's 2010, for example. But then, of course, it's a wine that in 10 years, 15 years time, it might be better, or it will be nice too, in a different way.
How long can they last?
Up to 25, 30 years, without any worries. And then after that, I have tasted a Barolo from 59.
From 59.
Recently, and was amazing. I was impressed by myself, but then
I have to come visit you in Piedmont.
Yeah, you need to come and see us actually, and we see what
really,
we can do.
I would really like to thank you for the opportunity. I hope that you get to come to Puerto Rico many more times so we can sit down.
Yes.
Any new labels, any new plans? I know that you have 2 wines that we have not tasted.
Yeah.
Friends, lovers of Chardonnay that are out there, look for this wine, Lealtro.
This is a very easy Chardonnay for an everyday drinking Chardonnay, because then we have a single vineyard Chardonnay, which is in Puerto Rico as well.
Incredible. You should go to El Orrio and buy it today. And this Barbera...
this is a wine that I really love it, because it's a wine that behind the label, behind the wine, there's a little history, you know?
Yeah, really?
And yes, because the name of Fides has a meaning, and the meaning is
faithful.
Faithful,
okay.
Because basically, very briefly, in 1990, we have decided to remove from a Barolo area some Nebbiolo grapes.
I'm getting mushrooms now.
Yeah, yeah, he's opening up. That's
yes,
a Barolo.
beautiful, beautiful mushroom, amazing. So you were saying?
Yeah, so in 1990 we removed the Nebbiolo grapes and we planted some Barbera. So, you know, it's something unusual from a Barolo area. But what we really wanted was to have a Barbera from a soil in Sarolunga. So a Barbera with a classic acidity of Barbera, but the aging potential that is done by the soil. And it's a beautiful wine. It's a limited edition. We are talking about...
I had this one yesterday, and for me, when I tasted it,
very intense,
it said one word: tomato-based pizza.
Yeah.
It's cream, it yelled at me.
Yeah.
Pizza. Wine was doing some yelling too.
Oh, okay.
This is a very good wine in terms of value. It's not obviously a cheap wine, but it's
But he has
obviously...
a little brother as well, the classic Barbera.
Yeah, the
which is
classic
cheaper
Barbera. The
and
classic Barbera
goes really well with anything.
It's beautiful as well.
Yeah.
So, David, I would really like to thank you once again for the
Thanks to
opportunity.
you, actually.
And I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Wish that Pio Cesare gets to be around for many more hundreds of years.
Let's hope, you know, with the new generation will come.
And that you get to come to Puerto Rico on future occasions as well. So, gracias
Thank you
amigos
very
por
much.
seguirnos. Salud. Pronto le traeremos más noticias y ha sido un privilegio compartir con ustedes una de las bodegas que más quiero y aprecio en toda Italia, Pio Cesare.
Thank you. Salute.
Salud amigos.